And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, to the final week, by the way, the final edition of the Korean StarCraft League, the final edition of 2023, as we near the end of the year. We're almost there. We're almost in 2024. Where did the year go, Bobby? Where did it go? As we have our first matchup here of the night. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys wish to have a look at the bracket yourselves. We have a pretty stacked bracket here. We have some returning players that have not competed in a very, very long time, as is being stated in the chat. But we have our first matchup. We have our PvP and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkion. We have the Chinese Protoss player, the blue? What? The red Protoss. Representing the Platinum Heroes, it is Firefly. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Cyan Protoss. Let's go. Representing his new team, Mystery Gaming, no longer a starving camel. He's full. He's full of food. He's full of Protoss. It is Cyan. Let us go. We can delve into the bracket a little bit later on, but we have our starting series. Of course, there is some excitement around Parting. I know Parting did sign up for the first time period in KSL. Parting has been on a bit of a hiatus here from gaming, from competing, from esports, and did recently come back to streaming around a couple of days ago, maybe just under a week or so. He has kind of returned to the competitive scene in a way. He hasn't been very active in tournaments. It's a little bit too soon for that. I do appreciate that he's here, and I understand that it would be a little fun to cast him. We've casted Parting before, plenty of times actually, but I believe he's being covered by some of the other casters. I believe Steadfast, Enki, maybe Dave Testa, maybe Chicken Man as well. There's a lot of English coverage going on, and there are plenty of people that are diving on Parting, so I don't blame them whatsoever. But personally, I'm a big fan of these two as well. Also, I don't really know if we're going to be missing much. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit harsh, but I don't think Parting is quite at the level as some of these other players at the moment. So yeah, wish him the best. I do wish Parting the best, and do wish him the best when it comes to his return as well. You know, I imagine that over time he will be improving. We'll be getting back to what resembles to be his previous level of play. So do look forward to that. Do look forward to Parting returning. He's also been investing quite a bit into Stormgate. I'm pretty sure we've already heard that. I mean, he's been competing in the Stormgate beta events that have been going on, the closed beta events at that. Parting has been active in other ways, I should say. For now, though, we're getting into our PvP, and we do have a 2-gate opener from both Cyan and Firefly. Everything is looking normal for the time being, everything looking by the book. We should be looking to expand. We have Firefly going for the faster Nexus. We have Cyan going for a Stargate first. So Cyan is going to be looking for some economic damage initially with that Oracle, and we'll see if Firefly can keep up. We'll see if he can defend. We'll see if he can get a read on what's going on. For now, he's in the dark, not fully aware of the opener of Cyan. No shield battery in the main base, Stalkers are in position at the natural, so there is potential. There's a lot of potential with this Oracle. Meanwhile, Adepts are shading out across the map, so Firefly is looking to deal some economic damage of his own. The Adepts are looking to shade into the main base, but so far, good Sim City here out of Cyan. He is in position to wall off. He is in position. There we go. The shield battery is thrown down. Oracle making its way towards the main base, and we don't really have much of anything here. Cyan will get a couple of worker kills. How many, though, does depend on the reaction time of Firefly. So we get into the main base. The first, the second, oh my god, the third probe going to be going out. We have to count, Papi, as we have a bit of a delayed reaction from Firefly. He's racing back home, was attentive across the map, and looking at the Unisoul stuff. That was 8. Oh my god. 8 probes. The Oracle will fall, but that was well worth it for Cyan, getting 8 worker kills. And behind this, even though Cyan did have a later expansion, he is now taking a worker lead. Solid start here from our Teal Protoss, Cyan Protoss, if you will. Adepts have been caught out in the center of the map and will be shut down by the Oracle. I always appreciate it when, like, a player with a color in their name actually plays their color. Like, feels good, man. Everything is right in the world. You have Cyan playing as Cyan. You know, when Azure plays Azure, Crimson plays Crimson. It's good. it makes sense, Bobby. It makes sense. Those are the only that come to mind for the time being. But I guess Scarlet, kind of true. I don't know, but Scarlet in my brain has always been like, again, like kind of the Queen of Blades, like purple sort of thing. But I guess that's also applicable. Who else? There's got to be another one, right? Is there a teal? I don't think there's a player called Teal. I don't think there was a player called Teal. Who else? True! Oh, how could I forget? Violet, Bobby. Violet. Not wrong. Oh, that's a name that I haven't heard in a while. It's been quite a hot minute. Last I heard, Violet, I believe, was he the one who started working for Shopify? Am I crazy? I remember Violet's, or a Korean pro player reaching out on Twitter and being approached by, I want to say by Toby, and by Shopify. Was that Violet? Or was that someone else? Yellow, Eon Blue. No clue. I just remember because I'm old. Smurge, Mappy Smurge. It was Violet or no, sorry, it wasn't Violet. It was the Korean player that was on Dignitas. I remember that. Unless, which I don't believe was Violet. Anyway, the Stalker's going to be facing off. I'll look it up after this. As we do dive on top of the army, 2 Stalkers going to be going down already. Not a bad pick off here from Firefly. Does have a couple of force fields as well. Sentries, of course, to try to shut down and clean up this army. Meanwhile, Cyan going straight for the gold. Oh my god. Bold move here from Cyan. As Stalkers force a blink up towards the safety of the shield battery. We're about to have an overcharge as well. Cyan just looking to be leagues ahead here. He's upper base, upper gold as well. He still has that overcharge that he can fall back to. And he will force this back. And Firefly, there's just so much pressure on him to get damage done. Remember, he is still down 10 workers. Like, forget about the gold base. Even without that. But we do see Cyan overextending quite a bit here. Going to be bleeding out a lot of these Stalkers. 2 Stalkers do go down. Firefly is all in at this point. How many gateways? We have 4 gateways back at home. We have a 5th gateway across the map. We are reinforcing. We're just warping in as much as we can. And Cyan is caught in a really awkward position here, trying to defend both his bases at once. Trying to split his attention between his 2 bases. Robo is going to stay powered. Stalker's getting picked off, though. It looks like Firefly, he can barely break through. Do we have an Immortal? We do not. Uh-oh. No Immortal, no shield battery, no overcharge. Firefly, he can take a fight here, but boys are being pulled. They're doing a great job just soaking some damage. Cyan, he can afford to lose some probes. But it looks like there may just be too much. Additional probes being pulled as well. We're going to have to target fire those Stalkers. Firefly losing ground here, losing some of those Stalkers, but it looks like he will still barely break through. Now, remember, bearing in mind that Cyan can afford to lose a base, as he's killing every worker across the map. Firefly down to 27 workers here. Cyan, he can give up his natural if he wants to. I do think he's overextending. I don't think he has to fight here. And there we go. He is going to be retreating. Cyan still has double the worker count of his opponent. No shield battery on the high ground either. A bit of a misstep there from Cyan. He's had time to prepare. Being forced further and further back into the main base. Reinforcements are on the way, and it looks like Firefly, he is breaking through. Just barely. And again, I do think that Cyan, he had some time to prepare himself, whether it's shield batteries, whether it's immortal production, void ray production, anything or everything. And Firefly, he has barely done it. His economy was in shambles, but he's breaking through the army, taking control of the main base as well. There's 2 Stalkers left, and GG gets called. Firefly, oh my god, does take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Despite so much being against him, he was down at base, he was down in workers, down in economy, but he was up in army. He did go all in, and Cyan was just a little bit underprepared for that. Again, no shield batteries, no immortals, no overcharge, and he was caught out of position, stuck kind of between his natural base and his 3rd. And Firefly, the only win condition for him there was for something like an all-in, and barely did pull through. GG. GG, well played. Also, it's killing me. God, who was... Okay, we're gonna be getting into the loading screen, and then I'll check Wikipedia Dignitas. God, it wasn't Bling. It was select. That's it. God damn it. Shaking my head. It was like on the tip of my tongue. I'm like, it's not Violet, but it was a Korean that was living in America. I know that much. I know Bling was on Dignitas, but it wasn't him. It was Select. He was the one who I believe ended up working for Shopify, which was really cool. As we are getting into this, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the red Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Firefly. Spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the teal Protoss, the Cyan Protoss player representing Mystery Gaming. It is Cyan. Let's go. Again, Cyan had so many advantages in that last game. He had crippled the economy earlier of Firefly with his Oracle harassment. He was ahead in the economy. He was taking the gold. He had gotten away with the gold base as well. He just had to survive, just had to defend, and just barely couldn't hold on. Just maybe being a little bit overconfident against Firefly. You know, maybe that's why we didn't see any additional static defense thrown down at the natural or in the main base. Cyan was just not taking it seriously enough and was punished for it. And with that, Firefly does take a lead in the series, but it's a best of three. Best of three, which means, I mean, it could all end here and now, but it could also go the way of the Cyan. I went Cyan to play red and Scar to play Cyan just to confuse the caster. You're an animal, Bob. You're an animal. Catching up. Fighting is probably gonna get clapped. I mean, probably. I mean, but I wish him the best. I do wish him the best, and I wish him, you know, I hope he's undeterred, regardless of how the tournament run goes for partying. I hope he's, you know, gonna stick with it and gonna continue to ladder, to stream, to improve. Do hope so. As we're getting into openers, and this time it's gonna be Firefly going for a Stargate opener. Okay. Let's go. You have little faith? No, I have a lot of faith. What do you mean, Slowbro? I just have faith in coffee. What are you talking about? All my faith is in coffee, Papi. Let's go. As the depths, they are going to be moving, are going to be shutting down this probe. Likewise, again, Firefly did delay his expansion and going for the Stargate opener instead. Oh, he's dunking on him? Oh, let's go. Coffee is a color too. I kind of. It can be. It can be. As for now, we are just settling into this again. This time, a bit of a role reversal where we have Cyan going for a faster Nexus. We have Firefly going for that Oracle instead. And we'll see if Firefly can achieve as much success as Cyan did with that Oracle harassment, as we do have the Adepts moving out across the map so far. Ooh, one of them going to be focused down already here. But we will commit to the shade. We're zooming across the map. Cyan, he is in position. He is ready for that wall. And does Firefly have much to do with these Stalkers? The answer is no. We're in a lot of trouble, actually. Cyan can keep pushing, and Firefly doesn't have anything to defend, by the way. He is going to be zooming across the map, but we have a full wall off. We have a sentry solid force field as well, catching some of these Adepts. And Cyan did waste some time here at the natural base, but here we go. Now he's pushing up into the main base. He could have done this a little bit sooner. Meanwhile, the Oracle going into the main as well of Cyan. Probes are going to be going down. And we force a recall of Stalkers that were at the natural, not in the main base. 4 probes go down at the same time, though. Cyan, he's breaking into the main. He's getting on top of the pylon as well, looking to depower. And yeah, these gateways are going to get depowered. They will go down. And that's all the production. Firefly doesn't actually have anything else here. A bit of miscontrols while attacking that gateway. We do have another Oracle on the way. If Cyan was able to reinforce, then he could just end the game here and now. It may just still be too much anyway. We're going for the Oracle. We're going for a bit of everything. Yeah, Stalker is going to go down. I'm loving the... Oh my god, the warp in! We locked them in! The boys! The drone drilling as well, and we just get a surround. Cyan gets cleaned up. Very nice control there from Firefly. It was beautiful. That was very impressive, as Firefly is going to be able to shut that down. Meanwhile, across the map, the Oracle is still going to be threading the bases. Now, as the dust does settle, Cyan is still ahead. He is up in workers, he's up in army, he has Blink on the way. Firefly has a lot to overcome, and he can pull this off. We do have 2 oracles being active. We can, of course, threaten a mineral line. But alas, we have 3 Stalkers in position. Cyan is being a little bit greedy by not throwing down any shield batteries. He's heavily reliant on his Stalker positioning, and oh, he does get caught out of for a moment. We'll be losing 3 of those probes. Oh. We're losing 3 workers in between the bases, but he will catch the oracles. Forcing a recall, and we're going to get a couple extra hits in, but the oracle will survive. Behind this, Firefly is down 4 workers, does have a robo on the way. Again, this is very necessary. So Firefly, he knows that he's behind when it comes to Blink timing. He has to make up for that with Immortal production. Meanwhile, Cyan is pushing, and Immortals are still on the way. We need this here to hold on. Without it, it's going to be a tight hold for Firefly. There's a world. If this Stasis Trap can pop off, if we can catch half the army, and we will. 6 Stalkers do get caught out, and just like that, Firefly is able to buy a little bit more time. The Immortal will arrive, and this shield battery will finish up as well. We're going to have our shield battery, we're going to have the overcharge. Whew. Firefly is holding. Behind this, Cyan working on his own robo production towards the 3rd base as well. Firefly is still in a bit of trouble. What I will say is that we don't have to push into the natural. We're going for the sentry. Get 1. Ooh, we get 2 sentries, and we're going to go for the Stalkers as well. And overcharge has popped a little bit too late. We've already lost our units. And from here, we have high ground vision. Cyan, he can just bypass the Immortals, go straight to the main base. Dives on top of the production, picking off 1 of those pylons. Can we get the 2nd? Oh, yeah, we just get the Immortal. We just dive on the Immortal instead. We will shut it down. Not the cleanest of trades here from Cyan. Gonna be losing a couple of Stalkers, but we'll get out of here. Oh my god. Very clean micros while avoiding any more damage. Keeping the Stalkers alive. Get the hell out of there. Trading very efficiently. That was what? 4 Stalkers for 3 Stalkers and Immortal, sentries, pylons. Solid stuff here from Cyan. Behind this, he's getting into charge, getting into his gateway explosion. We started +1. We don't have a forge yet for upgrades, but I mean, despite that, we're still in a really good position here for Cyan. And Firefly, we've seen this before. We actually saw this in game 1. At this point, 1 base all in. We're far too behind in the economy here to try to get it to a 3rd. The only way we can... Oh god! As the Oracle goes down, Proxy Pylon as well. I was going to say that the only way we can take a 3rd base is if we kill a mineral line. Here we go. Firefly is committed. Looking at the armies, what do we have? We have half the Stalker count. We have 3 Immortals, which is powerful. That's a lot of Immortals. But the Stalker count is just not where it needs to be. Especially considering that Cyan has Blink over his opponent. Here we are. You don't see this too often. The boys are being... A Terran? Is that you? Firefly doing his best Terran impression here. Force fields are thrown down, buying a lot of time. The boys, they have arrived. We have a shield battery, we have an overcharge. We have potentially 1 more force field soon. There we go, the boys tanking a lot of those hits. Can the Immortals break through? That's the real question. There's still just so many Stalkers in favor of Cyan. He dives on top of the army, cleans up the probes, focuses down the Immortals. There's only 2 left, now only 1. And GG gets called. Cyan will tie up the series 1-1. GG. I should have said Hon Mono, is that you? Pulling the boys on 2 bases? Aye. GG. Oh, Cyan looking powerful here. I mean, Cyan, he looked good in game 1 as well. Looking even better here in game number 2. Shutting down the Oracle harass. Punishing the aggressive opener of Firefly as well. The fact that he did not turn back around with those adepts and that he committed. Really solid stuff. And now we're going all the way to the ace match. Alright, going all the way. Game 3 going to be taking place on Golden Aura. Here we go. is lighter color. It is the medium by which we see color. Oh my god. You can see through me, papi. Ay, ay, ay. I left over lamb roast and made scrambled eggs for breakfast. Made taco beef for dinner with some tortilla chips and shredded cheese. That sounds so tasty. Sounds beautiful. You know what I had last night for dinner? I had some ramen. Let's go. I had some instant noodles. So we're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the red Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Firefly. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the teal Protoss, the Cyan Protoss representing Mystery Gaming. It is Cyan. Ramen. Oh, beautiful. Let's go. I'm probably gonna have some more instant noodles after this as well. I say some more. We do have a second broadcast later on tonight in 4.5 hours. In 4.5 hours, we're gonna be live with Grand Platypus Open. So not a lot of time. So in the interim, I will try to very quickly make some food and you know, get some energy for the second cast. I'll do my best. Do my best. Did have oatmeal today. Did have oatmeal for breakfast. Here we go. We are just going to be getting in with our probe scouts, getting a read on what is going on. So far, so good. It is going to be a 2-gate opener out of Cyan, 2 gateways here out of Firefly. Really, I'm keeping my eye on where the second pylon is going to be placed, and there it is. We have the second pylon in the main from both players. Neither player is going for a proxy. Now, to be fair, as we're loading into Golden Aura, I mean, the rush distance by ground is quite short, so a proxy isn't necessary if we do intend to go for an all-in. One-base all-ins are very much so a thing in this matchup, especially on a map like Golden Aura. So we'll keep an eye on our players to see what kind of direction we want to go in. Again, we've seen both players have their hand at trying to go for a Stargate first, but we can see Cyan setting up for his pylon on the low ground. Ooh, Firefly wants it. Oh god! He thought about the Stargate, but he did not commit once the probe scout came in. So Firefly, he is going to deviate away from his initial plans. Or is he just going to delay? He may just wait to kill this probe before he throws down his tech. Yeah, it is going to be a double adept. Oh god, once again, he's forced to cancel. He just wants some privacy. Cyan, get out of here. Oh my god. There we go. Finally, the probe goes out, but this is a very delayed Stargate here from Firefly. Ay, ay, ay. And Cyan happens to be going for a Stargate opener himself as well. A little bit faster because he didn't have to worry about a probe scouting him. So Cyan has a slight advantage. Adepts have been revealed. And we do have the expand on the way. So when it comes to the openers, both players are kind of mirroring each other, but Cyan is one step ahead. Faster expansion, faster Stargate. Now the other big deviation though is that Firefly did invest a little bit harder into these adepts. He went double adept into quadruple adept. He's going to be moving out, looking for some economic damage. As he moves out, we have a Hallucination Scout getting eyes on the Stargate. And we can go for a Phoenix, and there it is. A Phoenix is on the way. Cyan going for the hard counter. And Firefly has no idea. Remember, unlike Cyan, Firefly did not open Sentry. He opened up Adept. So there is no Hallucination Scout available here for the Red Protoss. He's more concerned with being aggressive. He is scouted as a result. Adepts are moving out. Cyan is in position. He's going to be able to wall off. He's going to be able to chase down these Adepts as well. And here comes that Phoenix. Now, this is a bold move. It's really risky to move out with it, but it looks like we will come across the Oracle just in time. Whew. If we missed it, that would have been disastrous. As Adepts will commit to the shade. The Phoenix, a little bit of miscontrol out of Cyan, doesn't chase down the Oracle. Ay, 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 Phoenix was left idle. And as a result, the Oracle actually doesn't really do any damage. Did get a little bit of hold damage on the Sentry, but not much else. This Oracle should have gone down. Regardless, Cyan doesn't take any damage. Is going to be able to force back his opponent. Firefly getting into a Phoenix of his own. Cyan is trying to get some of his own probe damage as well. Slipping in between the bases. Doesn't find anything in the main base, but he does head into the natural. Doesn't find any damage here either. Yeah, and it looks like, unlike Cyan's Oracle, sorry, unlike Firefly's Oracle that escapes, Cyan's is going to be shut down. Does pull. Let us say shade into the natural waste. We get 3 probe kills. We're not done. We do have a second Oracle. Firefly actually finding some damage here, and Cyan, he moves out of position. Does move out. The bases are exposed. We get into the main, and even more probes are going to be going down. Not for free. Bear that in mind. We do have the Phoenix to chase us back. And we should be able to hunt down this Oracle. As long as Cyan doesn't let this out of his sight. We do have a backup Phoenix on the way. Ooh. The Oracle will fall. And here we go. Now Cyan can push. Looking at the... Just taking a moment here to take stock. Firefly is ahead in workers. He is still behind in stalkers though. So Cyan has a little bit more firepower. He has his Phoenix to support himself, but he's pushing into a shield battery and an overcharge. Bear that in mind. Does have a force field. Oh! Force field is thrown down, but doesn't catch anything. Ah, spoke too soon. We do get on top of one of those stalkers. We do force back the army. We get on top of the pylon as well, and we're going to be depowering that shield battery. Ah, a bit of an Artosis pylon there. Second pylon was out of range. From here, Cyan's going to be backing up, getting his third. And yeah, that wasn't a bad move out of Cyan. He was able to trade quite well for himself. He is taking a faster third, a much faster third base. And Firefly has no idea, not yet. There we go, he does rock up. Gonna get one of those stalkers. Ah, pushing into a concave though. This is not a fight for Firefly to take. And Firefly is being forced back. Yeah, big win here, a big fight for Cyan. Cleans up the stalkers. And Firefly, he's in a lot of trouble. He's now aware that he's down at base, and we have a Dark Shrine on the way. Unfortunately for Firefly, we also have a Robo in production here for Cyan. He's working on detection.
Your probes are under attack.
Now, it is an exposed Robo. There's a world where maybe we can pick it off. Firefly's being active. Cyan missing the army. Yo, is there a world? Can we get on top of the Robo? We're going for it. Robo taking a lot of hits. No, shall we force a cancel? That may end up winning Firefly the game. Oh no. He dives into the main base as well. There is a forge on the way, so we can throw down some cannons. Looks like Firefly is gonna have to recall back home. Committing very deep here into the bases, depowering the Stargate, denying the Oracle. There's that recall. This was an expensive trade here for Firefly. Now, a couple of things have happened here. The Prism's coming in. Do we have an Oracle? We do not. We have zero detection. Pylons are now on the way. There's a world, if we can get these DTs on top of these pylons, we could, again, deny that Oracle. But we're not going for the main base. We're going up for the third. And Dark Templar had been revealed. 2 pylons are on the way, so this Oracle should finish. But damage is still being done, though. We have DTs in every single mineral line. Probes are going down. Just waiting for that revelation. So far, 6 workers behind this. Firefly is expanding, taking his own third base. Of course, we have a cannon in the mineral line as well. Yeah, cannons have been set up. These Dark Templar are going to be going down. Thankfully, Cyan was able to throw down those cannons just in time. And with that, Cyan still maintains a worker lead, which is crazy. Despite all the chaos ensuing, he's still in a good position. Does have the larger army, the better economy. Was that enough for Firefly? Now, what I will say is that even though Firefly has a lower stalker count, he does have immortals. That will help. He's got immortals, he has some shield batteries, kind of in position. So Firefly could potentially take a fight. we go. We're diving on top of the army. And first Immortal's going to be targeted down. Second Immortal will survive. Oh, this was not worth it for Cyan. Did overextend. Cyan bleeding out a lot of Stalkers here. Oof. They're losing even more here in the retreat. Losing 12 Oh my god. Losing 12 Stalkers as opposed to the 4 of Firefly. That was a rough trade here for Cyan. And now Firefly, he has momentum on his side. He is now ahead by 10 Stalkers. Reinforcements are on the way. We can at least deny the 4th, but I'm sure Firefly wants more than that. The island's going to be going down. We have the better concave. Immortals are on the way for Cyan. We only have one. And it's looking a little bit exposed here. I'm loving the Phoenix, but the Immortal is going to be dropped. Here we go. We go for the dive and focus on every single Immortal. And now is it going to be Firefly's turn to overextend? It is. Firefly is going to have to retreat. He's going to have to back off. Blinks on forward. Goes for the Immortal. Doesn't get it. The overcharge barely keeps it alive. Oh, the bait! The bait of the stasis trap. Firefly dives on top of the Immortal. Pushes into the natural base. We have another Immortal on the way. It's being chronoed as we speak. It's barely going to be coming out just in time, but it comes out in the face of all these Stalkers. It will fall immediately. And it looks like Firefly just has too much. Again, he had a kind of a rough early game, a rough mid-game even. Firefly multiple times in this series would fall behind, but mate, just send it. Just commit, and Firefly will just claw his way back in, takes control of the natural, will depower the rover, GG gets called, and Firefly will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Firefly doesn't need an economy. Almost every game in this series, he'd just be down a base, down 10 workers. Didn't even matter. Really, he likes it. Firefly likes it. GG, well played. Congratulations, as Firefly will take the series. We'll advance on here in the bracket. My condolences to Cyan. Cyan didn't look bad. He did not look bad at all here in this series. I do think, though, that it looked like he was overconfident a couple too many times. We saw Cyan overextending with his army or not taking a push seriously enough and really being quite lax with the stack defense. There were a couple of moments throughout these games where they feel like Cyan was getting a little bit too comfortable with his lead and he was kind of lured into a false sense of security. And with that, Firefly was able to take it in the end. And with that, we can now take a moment to have a look at the bracket.